All right, Georgia wins 45-0 against Austin Peay. That's a score, Ryne, that probably could have predicted. Probably more important is how Georgia played. And what's your take?
Well, I mean, I think they did everything that you expected them to do in the win. You know, I think the biggest thing was the first half where they got up 38-0 and did pretty much whatever they wanted to, and you know, got a lot of people in the game. So that was the big thing, I think. So, you know, what did you see, and what was your take from the Georgia outing there?
Yeah, I take away more from the offense than I do the defense. I mean, it's great to have a shutout, although this was 55 minutes of shutout instead of 60.
Right.
Because they kind of did a little bit of a mercy rule, cut the fourth quarter from 15 minutes to 10. But Georgia scored on its first 6 offensive possessions or 6 or 7, something like that. And they had touchdowns scored by 6 different people. I think, you know, you give South Carolina a lot to think about with all the different offensive weapons Georgia has, whether it's Demetrius Robertson going 72 yards on the speed sweep,
right,
whether it's Justin Fields coming in, picking up where Jake Fromm left off and being able to run and pass. He throws a touchdown pass to Isaac Nauta. In the first quarter, it was a lot of DeAndre Swift. And then Elijah Holyfield comes in and breaks, 3 tackles or so
that was an impressive run,
for a touchdown. So you play a lot of people. I think it was 16 true freshmen maybe that played for Georgia. You had a lot of young offensive linemen getting the game in the third quarter. So all the way around, pretty much the way you would draw it up. Although Kirby, of course, Kirby Smart, you know, he's never going to walk away happy. So some of the things in terms of execution, he wants to see better.
Right, and of course he talked about it in the post-game press conference about getting a lot of people in. Of course, that has several you know, positive aspects. Going into next week, you know, it's going to be a hot, steamy game down in Columbia, and a much, you know, an important game for both teams kicking off their SEC slate. But you also, for the Fields side of things, you know, get him some experience and get a lot of people experience that needed to step on the field, and then keep everybody kind of fresh, especially like Swift and Fromm, who didn't really have to do too much after about the midway through the second quarter. So, you know, I think the Bulldogs have to feel good about this game and going into Columbia, definitely.
Yeah, South Carolina has a similar type of opponent. Coastal Carolina, a Sun Belt Conference team, they won 40-something to 10. I don't remember exactly what the score was. But interesting, Georgia loses James Cook for the first half of the South Carolina game.
Tough.
Because of a targeting call on a fair catch on a punt.
Yeah.
And, you know, so Georgia's down to 3 scholarship tailbacks to play the Gamecocks in the first half.
Right, and of course, you can't fault the guy, I guess, for playing hard, but it was kind of a silly mistake, I guess, and you know, people will ask that question, why is he on the punt? Well, Kirby said that he took Mecole's spot. I think Mecole was on that kind of that gunner spot or whatever on the punt. But yeah, all in all, I feel like Georgia has to feel good, especially with that first half, about how everything kind of clicked, and had to feel good rolling into South Carolina next week. So, you know, I think everybody's fresh and ready to go in there.
All right, we'll talk to you guys on the podcast this week, and then we'll probably shoot some video at Williams-Brice Stadium before the sandstorm gets going for the 3:30 kick. And I hope it's not as steamy as you said it might be.
Yeah, as steamy as it has been today, I swear. Yeah. If it's like that, it's going to be another hot one.
Yeah, our shirts are drenching.
Yeah, definitely check us out, onlineathens.com as well.